Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is the Community Pod, and I am your host, Lester Class. Each and every episode is going to be filled with amazing stories from amazing people. You will hear the different journeys people went through, or are still going through, to be able to do what they love. From the failures to the successes and everything in between. This is a place to get to know the person behind their passion, because people only get to see the successes and not what it took to get there. If this is your first time tuning in, please subscribe and leave a review if you love the content. Now finally, I would love to welcome you to the Community Pod.
What's going on, everyone? This is the Community Pod, and I'm back to you with another episode. I got my guy in the building. I got Ru in the building. What's going on?
What's going on, bro? How's it going?
I appreciate you for being here, honestly.
Appreciate you for having me, bro.
Of course. So, basically, would you be able to start off with just letting the people know what it is that you do?
For sure. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Ruben Morillo. I'm from Lawrence, Massachusetts. I have a credit repair business, credit restoration. I have Airbnbs. I have a lot of different assets. Turo. I have a lot of different partnerships. I'm an affiliate with many different brands as well. But overall, I'm just an entrepreneur.
Got you. So, before I go ahead and keep giving you questions, I have to say, I'm wearing the same T-shirt because it's the same day that I did my boy over here, Kai's interview. So don't come crazy at me. But to just continue going on, right? What was life like growing up for yourself?
It was pretty cool. I grew up Lawrence, Massachusetts. It's like the hood.
Gotcha.
But I learned a lot from being in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure like my kids go to school in the hood for at least like a year or so. Like
Okay.
I want them to just learn the things that I've learned. But it wasn't bad. I always got along with everybody. I learned a lot from everybody that I was around. And I met a lot of great people. And it's like when you come from an environment where I'm from, it's like you're hungry to win. Like I know so many people in my hood that are like thriving and doing different things. Like it's a lot of successful people from my city. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's just thriving. We come from nothing, so we're just so hungry to have something. So it was a good experience for me. I made sure I stayed away from like all the negative things, focused on like the positive things, and it got me to where I'm at.
Got you. So living in an area where there's a lot of different influences, right?
Yeah.
A lot of different routes that you could have taken.
Yeah.
How do you stay so focused?
I mean, you gotta want something for yourself, man. You feel me? You can't think regular. You have to make sure you're around people that want good for you. That's a big thing. I'm always around people that have more than me, know more than me. So it's like I'm always learning new things. I'm always striving. When I see someone that's doing good, I wanna compete with them in a friendly way. So I just make sure I'm around the right people. I stay focused.
Okay.
Keeps me focused.
So what advice would you give to somebody that may be living in a situation where there is a lot of influences growing up,
Yeah.
and not all of them are also positive?
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody that is in an area like that and trying to stay focused?
Yeah. You have to pretty much you have to create your own environment. You might not be around the right people. Your household might be messed up. You might be going through some things, but you have to like create that own environment for yourself. You have to lock yourself in mentally. You have to create that space in your mind where it's like, I'm only focused on this. You have to have like almost like a why, like what hurts you. Like for example, like I'm always thinking about my family. I'm thinking about my grandparents, because my grandparents, they've done everything for me. So it's like, whenever I get down, whenever like I need motivation, I always think of my grandparents. So like, me just constantly thinking about them, it fuels me, and it makes me want to go hard. It gets me to like I said, it got me to where I'm at. So I just always you want to pretty much like think of something that can motivate you and push you. You want to use like your conditions to fuel you, because you can see it two ways. You can use your certain situation as a reason why you're where you're at, or you can use it as the purpose to why you're going where you're going. You feel me? So I pretty much use my environment to get me to where I'm at. So it's like you have an option. Like there's always gonna be negatives. There's always gonna be positives. You have to take those negatives. You have to try to turn those into positives. You know what I'm saying? Everything's perspective.
Got you. So where is it that you found your passion, or the passion to be an entrepreneur? How is it that you found it?
Well, first I played college football and things like that. So obviously, like when you're playing college football and you plan to go to NFL, obviously I didn't go to NFL, but when you plan to, like a big part of the game is business. It's a lot of money involved. You have to know numbers. You have to know how to move with certain things. So it's like when it came to football, I always learned the business side of things, and that pretty much inspired me when it came to like becoming an entrepreneur. It was natural because I was already developing that mindset. And then also my father's an entrepreneur. He's a big promoter in like his prime age. He was like a club promoter and things like that. And every time he'd go around like promoting or like putting flyers up around the city, I was always in the back seat. So just like growing up, just watching that after school, I would either go to Boys and Girls Club. The days that I didn't go to Boys and Girls Club, I'd be in the back of his seat, just watching him and his friends linking up, talking about business, coming up with like different ideas, getting creative, going around the city, putting up flyers, talking to people, going to different venues, trying to, create, different partnerships. So just seeing that, now that I look at it, like I never really looked at it like that, but now that I'm back, because I recently just went back home, and now that I'm back home, just seeing all the things that he's doing, it's like I realize where I got that passion from. And people tell me all the time, like, yo, you remind me of your dad, like I knew your dad when you were small, and it's like you guys are moving so similar. So it's like kind of got it from him.
Got you. So what is it like having an influence like that at such a young age?
I mean, it's like a shortcut. It's almost like it's like mentorship almost. You have someone that you look up to, that you can go to for advice, that has gone through certain trials and tribulations. They failed, so it's like they tell you what to do, they tell you what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to make that same mistake that he did. So it's almost like having a mentor, which is your dad, which is pretty cool. So whenever I need something, I could go to him. I talk to him about certain things. He gives me his input, and he's also business minded. So it's not like he's gonna give me like suggestions or information that's not gonna make sense.
Mm-hmm. So, like, was this route the route that you believed that you were going to take on from go? Or was there something else in mind before this?
Nah, I wanted to play football.
You wanted to play football?
I wanted to play football. What stopped me was really COVID.
Okay.
So I went to Southern Connecticut State University. I was defensive back there. I redshirted my first year. My second year, I started, and then COVID hit that third year. So I didn't even get to play my third season. But I was already going to go into my junior year, So I was going to be my first year on the football field, so I was going to have 3 more years, but I was already going into my third year of college. So I felt like I was already, getting a little old or whatever the case is. And yeah, so I wanted to go to the NFL. Once COVID hit, pretty much had to like find something else, and then I just got so lucky that my friends on the football team, they were also into entrepreneurship. Like while we was in practice, some of them, would be talking about entrepreneurship. They'd be talking about different things, different ways to make money. There was a time I was in college. I was in the cafe with my boys. We were sitting eating, and one of my mans made 20 bands off his phone in like 10 seconds. He was like trading, like Forex. So we took a trade. He made like 20 bands so fast. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, he's on the same team as me. It was like motivation. Like, you're on the same team as me. We work out the same amount of time. We work out together. We hang out all the time. And if you can sit there and you can make 20,000 in like 10 seconds, like, I can too. And I can't use football as an excuse, like why I'm not making money, because a lot of football players like to do that. Oh, I'm fully focused on football. I'm doing this and that. So you don't want to make money. But it's like I couldn't use it as an excuse anymore because he was doing it. You feel me? So,
okay. And then like it I feel like it all goes back to like what you said. You're on top of your game. You constantly have to work, and you feel like you have this hustle mentality. That's what I'm getting from you. So like, where do you feel like this stems from? Where do you feel like you even got this hustling mentality?
I feel like it's just one of those, it's just like a burning desire that I have inside me. I feel like when I look at people, I can see who has it and who doesn't. It's like some people just have it. You know what I'm saying? Some people have that burning desire that they're just, no matter what happens in their life, they're just going to find a way to run it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I come across people like that a lot. Not a lot, like only a few people have that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it or where it comes from. It's just like inside me. Like I feel like I just like, my family probably passed it down or something, but like I just always have that desire where it's like I can't sit still. Like I'm fidgety, bro. Like even on the podcast, like I'm just moving a lot. You feel me? But I just always like feel like I have to do something.
Yeah.
Or like I feel like I'll fall behind if I don't.
Got you. So I feel like a lot of people, what I haven't been able to bring up yet was a lot of people say they want to be an entrepreneur, right? A lot of people say it, right? And say that I'm an entrepreneur, or they want to be a self-made individual or their own boss, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between an individual like yourself who took the initiative and someone who just says it?
I feel like people that just say that, I feel like the average person quits too soon, and I feel like that's why certain people's businesses don't get taken as serious. Like me, like when I first started credit repair, there was people like that were making fun of me because I didn't have, let's say, the best results. You know what I'm saying? So people were making fun of me. I didn't really have it figured out yet. I was still learning throughout the entire process. But one thing about me, like I stayed serious with it. Like the average person, if someone laughs at you, you're gonna quit. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the biggest things with entrepreneurship. Like when you first start, people know you for who you are, not where you're going, or the type of person you're gonna, like if I'm your best friend, bro, and I've been with you for 6 years, I know you for who you are right now. So when you start this podcast, I'm gonna be like, that's not you. You know what I'm saying? They might look at you a little weird. And it's like when they get looked at, when the average person gets looked at like that, it's like, nah, what am I doing? Let me stop. Let me go back to doing what people are known, know me for doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the biggest things, just like, staying committed. Like, people are going to look at you a little crazy at first. Nobody's really going to believe in you. You just got to find a way to just stick through it. And then that's another thing. It builds your credibility too. When you have a business and you've been doing it for so long and you have testimonials, you have all these clients coming in, now people look at you as a legitimate business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you just got to stick through it long enough where people now know you as that, that podcast guy,
Exactly.
that credit guy. So
exactly. So I feel like you said, a lot of people quit. A lot of people don't realize how important it is to be consistent and understand that everything else that you're looking for, everything that you're not getting in that moment, will come. All the support, even though I feel like at some points, like that support is sometimes given to us when we already are at a good spot. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Like when we needed that support for you to lift us back up, to be able to be like, give us that extra push. We're already at that. We're not at the finish line, but we already are in view of it. We already see it.
Yeah.
So why are you trying to push me now? Why? Because you want to be on that same line as me.
Yeah, and that's why only like the strong survive. Like, some people, when they don't get that support, it's over. Like, let me try something. Maybe it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? The ones that are strong, the ones that you see at the tippity top, those are the ones that, you don't believe in me, I'm gonna make you believe in me. You feel me? It's just that mentality. Like I said, everything is a perspective. There's always two ways to look at it. You can look at it with a negative view or a positive view. So
exactly. And I know that with Kai's interview, he mentioned how Jeff Bezos doesn't do any helping, right? And he also mentions that the top people, they make this so much money, but Jeff Bezos started with nothing as well. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is that when it comes to the nitty gritty and it comes to individuals like us, you stay consistent, you can do it. No one believed that he was gonna make a company that literally sold everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there's people making money off of his company. If you really want to be smart with it, drop shipping and stuff like that. Like, there's so many different things. And if you want to go get it, you can go get it at the end of the day.
Mine is so powerful. That's another thing, like confidence. You have to have that confidence. Even when you have nothing, you have to believe, like, I can do it. Like, everybody's the same. Like, when you see someone that's super successful, they're not really different than you. There's just certain they just look at things a little bit different. They believe a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I had nothing, I was just confident. Like, I knew, like, because that burning desire I told you I had in me, I knew I was bound to be great. You know what I'm saying? No matter what happened.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah, you just got to build that confidence. You have to, like, sometimes you might even have to lie to yourself. You might have to, like when it comes to your business, sometimes you might have to be delusional about your business. You might have to tell yourself, I'm going to do this and this next week. By this year, I'm going to make 7 figures. And you might only make, 5. You might only make 6. But if you never told yourself that, you probably would have made nothing. Probably would have quit. So you have to almost cheat your way to the top. You have to tell yourself certain things that even aren't even happening.
Exactly. So I just wanted to get into the fact that, like, the same thing with Kai. You guys are both individuals that don't want to stop working, and like being complacent is really not an option.
Yeah.
And it comes to a point where, like, even if your level to, how do I say this? People's idea of success are all different, and I feel like with individuals like yourselves, I feel like as well as me, is the fact that even if we get to the success that we pictured, it's not done yet.
Yeah.
There's so much more that we gotta obtain.
Yeah.
So, like, why do you feel like that is? Why do you feel like it is so important to you, and you have this drive in you? Why is that something that's embedded in you?
I feel like there's always gonna be new heights. Like, when I reach a certain level of success, like, once you get there, it's like, for example, you ever got a computer, or you got a camera, or you got some shoes that you've been fiending for, you've been wanting them so bad, you got them, and it's like, I finally got them. Like, what's next? It's like that same exact thing. It's like with success, bro. Like, you reach that goal that you got, and it's like, all right, like, it feels normal. Like, what's next? Like, you're just so hungry for that next goal. That's pretty much just how it is in my mind. Like, when I get to a certain level, it's like, okay, that's cool, I got here, but it's like, what could I really do now? And yeah, that's pretty much how it is for me, bro.
And it's funny that you mention it like that, because it is levels. Like, like, for example, when I built the podcast, my goal was to build it. My goal was to finish the final product. Sat there, was like, all right, now I got to open the next door. Now it's time to go and get people.
Yeah.
Open the next door. Like, how can I upgrade my equipment?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always things to learn and always things to grow and progress in life.
Absolutely.
So to just continue on, right? Before I get all of the questions, I do have to ask you, I fuck with your fit heavy. Where is it that you got it?
This right here, this is Seeking More, Seeking Love. My man's Emmanuel made this. This is his brand. He's been taking off. He's from Massachusetts, like me. He's been doing his thing. This piece right here, you're not getting this for under $1,000. You feel me? You're not getting it for under $1,000. This is Palm Angels right here. These pants, they're on discount. They were like $800. Originally, I got them for $400 at Saks Fifth, and then these are Alexander McQueen shoes right here. I got these for like $600.
Got you. And you mentioned a little bit like that your the top is a 1 of 1, right?
1 of 1.
And I gotta say that his name is Emmanuel. Emmanuel, shout out to you, bro, because I gotta say, in all honesty, it is probably one of my favorite tops that I've seen on somebody.
Mine too.
No joke. But just to continue on, right? Like when it comes to, so you mentioned that you played sports, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like sports has a lot to play with the outside world as well?
Yeah, you just learn so much from sports. Like the same lessons that you learn in sports, it's like similar to the same lessons that you'll learn anywhere in school. Like there's certain things that you're taught. Like in sports, I've just learned so much. Like there's been times where like it might be something short. Like let's say I'm running across the finish line and I don't, exactly past the finish line, or I stop a little before. It's like, you slack that last moment, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you can relate that, you can translate that to life. You have to make sure you get through that door. You can't just stop right there. So it's like I've learned a lot of lessons in football, and they all just translated to life. So when I stopped playing football, it's like I took those same exact lessons and I dominated with whatever I did. And that's another thing about athletes. They're able, like, athletes are some of the most successful people in the world, even when it comes, like, when they stop playing sports, just because those little things that they learn, they just apply to life. Like, we're taught to never quit. You know what I'm saying? When you take a hit, you're taught to get up and keep going. When you mess up your ankle, tape it up, take whatever you got to take and get back in the game. So it's like, it's the same exact thing with life. When life knocks you down, it's second nature for us to get back up. We're not going to quit. We're not going to stop. We're just going to keep going. We got our eyes set. We have tunnel vision. We have our eyes set on the end zone. We're not going to stop till we get to the end zone. We're not going to stop till we win this game. Same exact thing with everything that you do. You start your business. Now it's a little bit easier than the average person now, because you already have that mindset. Like, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to score this touchdown. I'm going to make sure I do this and that. So, exactly. Yeah.
So to just talk about your how you got into credit repair.
Yeah.
Right. Your brand is GBR.
GBR Credit. Yes, sir.
GBR Credit. So how did this happen? How did you even get into this?
It's funny. I was actually in a business before I started credit repair. That's where I actually learned business and like learned the fundamentals. But we would always travel to like networking events, and networking is a big thing, and I'll touch on that in a few. But we'd always travel to these networking events. We'd always stay at these hotels. We'd always be going out to eat, and I would spend all my money on a debit card. And obviously, when you swipe your debit card, your money leaves instant, and there's no benefits there, And then I realized, like, my mom always used to tell me about credit cards, and she used to tell me like, oh, no, don't use your debit card for that. That's in the future. You'll have a credit card, and I'm like, I never really understood why she said it, but then I just sat back and I thought about it, and I'm like, yo, it just went off in my mind. I was sitting in a hotel, booked the hotel, sitting in my mind like, yo, I could have used a credit card, and maybe I could have got a benefit, and I just did my research. Okay, but if I would have used this, if I would have got approved for this credit card, and I used this credit card to book this hotel, I would have, got $5 back. It's not much, but let's say I'm booking multiple hotels at the end of the year. I mean, the entire year. At the end of the year, I might have an extra $100 just saved right there. So I realized like there's benefits when it comes to what I'm doing when I was traveling, going event to an event. Booking flight to flight, hotel to hotel, restaurant to restaurant. I could have saved so much money and got so much different benefits. So I started off with that. Got credit cards. I started to credit card stack. So I got a bunch of different credit cards that all benefited the things that I did. If I traveled, I got a travel card. If I stayed at hotels, I got hotels that would give me a lot of points for hotels. If I ate out, I would get a lot of, points for that. Same exact thing with pumping gas. So I stacked all these cards that benefited me. And it's like every time I spent money on that credit card, I would receive all these different points. And I realized like, yo, I can teach people this. And then I started educating people on the basics of credit card. And I would run little Zoom calls for like $25. And people would pay me $25 just to learn what cards to get, what are the benefits, how to boost your score. I used to teach people how to boost their scores. And then in 2022, I learned how to repair credit. And then we hired a bunch of different individuals like from different like countries that you could pretty much pay them out like Not you can pay them like small amounts of money, and it's a lot of money to them because we're paying in USD.
Mm-hmm.
So we would teach them the game, how to repair credit, and then they would do it for us. So now we'd be able to travel. I'd be able to do the podcast, and let's say someone wants to get their credit repaired, they'd be able to do it without me even being there. So it's like we just took it to new levels.
Yeah. So, like, what is some advice? Before I ask for advice, but like, why is it important to take care of your credit?
It's just like when it comes to adulting, when you want to like be a boss and you want to do things for yourself, you want to move out your mom's house, you want to get that new car, you want to start to get some investments on your hands. Credit is always going to be the biggest question. What is your credit score? So it's like those are things you have to start taking advantage of like as early as possible. There's clients that I've met that they just turned 18, and as soon as they turned 18, their parents already opened up bills under their credit. They already need their credit repaired because they grew up like in poverty. They grew up in where I'm from, where their parents didn't have much money, so they opened up credit under their kids' names. But it's like so important. Like when you go to the dealership, they're gonna ask you what's your credit score. When you're going to get buy a property, what's your credit score? I seen a article that it said in 2022, 30% of jobs, credit checked. Think about it like this: financial jobs. So let's say you want to work at a bank. Why would I allow you to work at the bank if you have a 400 credit score and you have 13 collection accounts? Mm-hmm. You owe money. You're showing me that you're irresponsible with money. Yep. Why would I trust you to run all this money in the bank? You know what I'm saying? So it's becoming just more and more important. Mm-hmm. If jobs are starting to credit check, you need to work on your credit.
Exactly. So what advice would you give to somebody on working on the credit, or something that, like, somebody that has a credit card or wants to get a credit card? What is something that's important when it comes to being, dealing with credit?
Just do a lot of research. Before you apply for a card, make sure you like the card. Make sure you like the benefits that come with it. Like I said, I used a credit card stack. I'd only apply for cards that would benefit me personally. Like if I didn't travel, there was no reason for me to have an Amex. It just doesn't make sense. Because like every time you apply for a credit card, you're gonna receive what's called an inquiry. And when you receive that inquiry, it's pretty much a track record that you ran your credit to get approved for something, or a lender looked at your credit. So the more lenders that look at your credit, the worse it looks to lenders. So if I ran my credit 50 times and someone let's say I go to a dealership and they see that, they're not gonna want to give me a card because it looks like I'm almost fiending to get approved for all this money. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what do you want the money for? Mm-hmm. Like if you're well off, you don't need all these different cards. It just looks a certain way. So before you apply for all these different cards, make sure you do your research. You find the cards that you like. YouTube is a free search. You know what I'm saying? You can go on Google, YouTube, and you can look up what are the best credit cards. You can see what cards would benefit you for free. That's something you don't even have to pay people for. So I would say the biggest piece of advice: just do your research. Sit down sometimes, open up your computer, go on YouTube. A lot of free information that you can find on there.
What do you feel like are a lot of mistakes people make when it comes to credit cards?
Maxing them out. I feel like people spend too much money on their credit cards. There's something called credit card utilization, right? So that ranges anywhere from 0 to 100%. Mm-hmm. And every time you spend money on that credit card, your utilization percentage is gonna go up. Okay. Now, it's like a proven fact. Once your utilization, the average person, I'm not saying me or you, once the average person passes that 30% utilization mark, that's when accounts get sent to collection. That's when people miss payments. That's when all these negative accounts start to appear in your credit report because people make mistakes financially. So make sure when you're using these credit cards, you're using them the right way. Mm-hmm. You're not being immature about it. You're being responsible. Utilization, it goes a long way, and that's actually like 30% of your score itself. Utilization. So when you utilize over 30%, 40% of your card your card total, mm-hmm. your score is gonna drop.
Yeah.
Yep. So you have to make sure you're on top of that. Don't go get a credit card and let me just go max it out, because you don't know. After you watch this podcast, you should be educated enough to know, keep your utilization under that 30% mark so you can keep your score in the ranges that they are.
Yeah. And I got to say, speaking from experience, I went over that 30%. But definitely haven't missed a payment, because I feel like that's a big thing. The score went down, but as long, correct me if I'm wrong, but as long as you don't miss a payment and you keep going and you keep making those payments, it'll go back up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but to continue on, like all this information, right? That how old are you by the
24.
24.
I just turned 24 in February.
Okay, you just turned 20. Well, happy late birthday.
Appreciate you.
But you're 24 years old. A lot of people will look at you and be like, "How does he know all this information? Uh-huh. How is it? How were you able to learn and obtain all this information?"
I invested a lot, man, like into books, audio books. Like I said, I would sit around on YouTube with my guys. We used to live like, it was like 6 of us in like a 3 family. It was a big crib, bro. It was a big crib. It was like 3 floors. It was 6 of us, and we was all that entrepreneur group I was telling you about. We played football, but then after COVID hit, we decided to like take entrepreneurship to the next level. So we sat down and we would just like teach each other stuff. We would sit around like from the morning to like nighttime on YouTube, learning new things, taking down notes, making calls, connecting with a bunch of different other individuals that also had information. So I invested a lot. We take trips to different events just to meet people, just to learn new stuff. So like all the money that I would make, I would just reinvest it back into like myself. You know, I would get books, those ebooks I was telling you about, YouTube videos. I would meet new people. I would fly to different events. So that's pretty much where I gained all my knowledge from. I learned that at a young age. You want to like reinvest back into your business. You don't want to keep all the money that you're making from your podcast to yourself. You want to go get better equipment. You know what I'm saying? You want to pay for ads, marketing. You want to make sure, you know, your content is correct. You might get a cameraman. So I just invested into myself.
Got you. And when it comes to investing into yourself, like, why is it so important to invest into yourself?
I mean, if you want to get to the next level, you're going to have to. You know, let's say, for example, you know, with your podcast, you're getting 10 views, right, with what you're naturally doing, 10 views, but you want this podcast one day to get to the top. If you drop over 100 videos and they each get 10 views, you know something's wrong. You know there's something you have to add. There's like that little sauce that you're missing to get yourself to that next level. And it's like you'll start to come to that realization after being stuck for so long that little step that you're missing is you taking it to, like, investing yourself to take it to that next level, you know? So that's pretty much what it was for me. I feel like I was in a space where I wasn't progressing.
Yeah.
And it's like, why am I not progressing? And it's because I was still the same me. In order for me to get to the next level, I have to change something about myself. I have to develop myself. I have to speak different. I have to, you know, speak proper, do different things. I have to dress a certain way. And then I realized, like, okay, I got to invest into myself. In order to, like, be successful, you have to, you know, create that visual for yourself. You get to look that way. Like, if I'm gonna be an artist, if I want to be a successful artist, I'm gonna get around other artists. I'm gonna start to dress like artists. I'm gonna go to the studio a lot more. You know what I'm saying? There's just little things that you're gonna do if you want to take it to that next level.
Got you. So, like, I know with all of this that's happening, right, you've been able to attain a level of well, I want to say you've been able to accomplish a lot in your life at a very young age. The same thing I asked Kai, does that ever feel surreal to you?
Yeah, like, there's times I space out a lot, bro. I'll space out a lot. Like, if I take a trip somewhere, like, I'll, like, for example, like, when I'm on a plane, I just space out, like, looking out the window. And it's like, let's say I'm going to, like, Miami. I go to Miami a lot, you know, because I have an Airbnb out there. But if I'm going out there, like, I'll just, like, on a plane, I'll just space out and I'll just think about it, like, damn, like, I came a long way. Like, if you knew me, like, from back then, you'd be proud. You know, because I had no skill sets. I was just an athlete, just playing football. And I was the skinniest kid. I was the smallest kid. I never got bullied, but, like, I would get hit. You feel me? Like, on the football field. So it's like, I didn't really have much. You know, so there's times I just space out, like, when I'm looking at a nice view, or, like, I'm just in my thoughts and I think about, like, damn, I came a long way. And I have a longer way to go. But it's like, I'm thankful, bro.
Yeah.
For sure.
So when it comes to all this, why are you doing this?
Why am I doing this? I want to create that. Like, I always felt like this, bro. I always felt like this. I always felt like I was meant for more. Like, when I look at someone's daily schedule and I see them, like, working a job and they're doing the same exact thing every day, it's like that routine that they're in, I always knew, like, it wasn't for me. Like, every time I get a job, bro, like, I quit. I just can't be there. Because it's like, I feel like I'm meant to live, like, an amazing life. Like, I want to see the world, bro. Like, every day I think about, like, a trip somewhere, you know? So it's like, that was always my mindset. Like, I want to be great. I want to do different things. Yeah, but I always wanted to live, like, that lifestyle for myself. I wanted to create that life. I knew I wasn't born to be a normal person. That's why I got this tattoo. It says, know your worth. God created you different. You know what I'm saying? Because I always knew my worth. I knew I wasn't meant to be where I'm at right now. Like, I don't want to be stuck in that routine where I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again, working a job, clocking in, clocking out, celebrate on the weekends, do it all again. You know, like I want to take trip to trip, island to island. So it's like that's why I'm doing this, to create that financial freedom for myself, and then I want to create it for my family as well. Because like I said, I do everything for my grandparents, bro. Like they've looked out for me. I've been to Jersey before. The second time, the first time I came to Jersey was for a camp. They drove me 5 hours out here.
Jeez.
They ain't have much money. We ain't have much. And they did it out of love. They found a way to make it happen. They got me out here. So it's like I owe them my life. Like that's just one example, but they just made so many different sacrifices for me where it's like when I know like I'm down, that's instantly what comes to my mind. And that's why I said you have to have that why. Like when things get rough. Because they just drive me, bro. Like I know I'm doing this for them. Like I have to get to a certain point so they're good. You know, so.
Nah, and then the fact of the matter is that I feel like when you look at things like that, like those small things that these people do for you, you appreciate it so much more. And you understand that, like, they may have struggled to be able to get this to happen to you, but they made sure that you were happy doing it. You know what I mean? So, because the reason I'm bringing this all up is because a lot of people don't realize, or like a lot of people don't have family that genuinely, or, you know, sometimes genuinely don't care about them. They don't do that extra thing. There's parents that resent their children, you know what I mean? And like to have family that takes care of you and loves you and wants you to do better in life is amazing. So when you have people like that, when it comes to them, why is it important to you to give back to these people, to your grandparents in particular?
Because they've gave everything to me, bro. You know, it's only right. Like I was always taught to take care of those that take care of you. You know, my whole life I've been taken care of by them. My mom and my father too, they've done a great job. But like I've always like related to my grandparents. Like they just showed me like the absolute most love. Like they treat me like I'm their son. You know? So it's like when like those people make me happy. Those are the people that like when I think of a happy place, I think of them. So it's like it's only right. Like it would make no sense for me like to not do anything for them. Like everything I do it in the mind that they're gonna be happy for this, or you know I'm gonna be able to give back to them. I'm gonna be able to take them shopping this week. You know, for this holiday I'm gonna be able to spoil them. You know, one day I'm gonna make sure I retire them, get them out the hood. So it's like those are the things that are constantly on my mind 24/7.
So I want to bring up, so a lot of people like sometimes don't realize, because you know while we're trying to grow as individuals, as you know, on our own and everything, we sometimes can forget about our family in some ways. Not that they're not on our mind, that we don't think about them, but we're so focused on trying to get it and trying to be successful that the time that we would like to spend with them is not as much as that we, you know, as we would like. So how important is it to appreciate your grandparents? Because they're not going to be here as long as we expect them to be.
Absolutely. You have to make time for your people, man. Scheduling is important. Can't just wake up every day with just scrambling around your thoughts and just doing everything like whatever. Like you can't move emotional. You can't do like whatever comes to mind. You have to make sure you have that schedule for yourself. So for me, I work from like the morning to like late evening. And then after that work time, it's like I always make sure like I check in, I call. They don't live that far from me. They might live like 15 minutes away from me. So I might pull up, you know, say what's up. And it's little things like that will make their day. And it'll make my day too. So just, you know, scheduling. Like I understand like you're working hard and it's okay. I know as an entrepreneur there's going to be times where you might not be able to pass by and say what's up. You might forget to reach out. But that's why scheduling is important. You want to make sure you make time for the people that you love, because like you said, they won't always be here, you know. So it's big.
Gotcha. So when it comes to you as an individual and what it is that you do, like, is there a roof? Is there a ceiling for you? Do you feel like, well, let me reword that. Is there anything else that you want to do in this lifetime when it comes to being an entrepreneur?
Oh yeah, I got a lot. I got a lot of different aspirations I want to do. I want to get a couple real estate properties.
Okay.
I want to get that done in 2024. I'm making sure it gets done in 2024. I want a couple multi-families that I can put people in that rent, pay me rent, you know what I'm saying, so I can profit off of that. Later on in my life, I want to make sure I purchase an apartment building. Something like that would be dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I watch a lot of boxing. Floyd, you know, owns some of the biggest buildings in New York. You know what I'm saying? He was someone that was wise with his money. He made a lot of different investments. And, like, when it comes to, like, investments, stuff like that, that's someone that I look up to. I want to make sure I have those investments that I can pass down to my family. But But yeah, I want to do a lot. Like I want to like get into modeling. Like man, it's like a lot of different things I want to do. If I'm, it's like I haven't even scraped like the surface.
Exactly.
Like right now I'm doing credit repair. I'm helping people out, and the good thing about credit repair is like I'm building a name for myself, helping other people out, which is dope, and I enjoy that right now. But I don't want. It's not something I want to do forever. I want to make sure I help people out. I want to make sure I save a lot of money, and then I make sure I make the right moves with that money. But I haven't even scraped the surface of everything I want to do yet, bro.
Got you. Well, I do want to pull something from what you said before. It's actually funny because you mentioned that you don't want to work a regular job. It's too consistent or not repetitive. Exactly.
Yeah.
You mentioned just right now that you work from early in the morning to late evening.
Yeah.
While a 9 to 5 is morning to night. But the difference is you may be working longer hours, but it's something that's bringing you joy, and it's something that is bringing you more than what you'd be doing at a regular job. Not to say regular job, but doing the you know what I mean. You're working a job that you're 9 to 5, but when you're working as an entrepreneur, your hours are long. They're long, but at the end of the day, like you're doing it on your own.
You're building your own empire, bro. Like when you're working for someone else, you're helping them build their empire, and there's nothing cool with that. Sometimes you might, and I tell people this, like you have to work a job to make some type of money. There's nothing wrong with working a job. It's like your end goal shouldn't be to work there forever. You should always want to level up. So what I would recommend, working the job, stacking your chips, take those chips and invest them. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did. I worked a job until I had a good amount of money, and I invested into whatever I had to invest into. But you're working for yourself, and then also you make your hours. If I take a trip, I might not have to work because, like I said, I had those employees, those virtual assistants that I pay from different countries that might do the work for me. So it's just, that's like a boss thing. That's what Elon Musk, that's what Jeff Bezos, they're doing things like that. You're not going to see Jeff Bezos, at Amazon building everything himself, packaging goods. He has people to do that for him because he's built that wealth for himself where he can pay people out and things.
Got you. So this question, let me know if it's a little confusing. But is there anything in life that you wish you could do, but because you're an entrepreneur that you can't right now?
Wish I could do. I mean, I have to obviously maintain a certain level of professionalism. I can't really show my personality to a certain extent.
Okay.
I feel like as an entrepreneur, there are certain things that you have to stay away from.
Okay.
There's certain ways that you have to present yourself. I'm saying, with the level of professionalism. Like I can be myself, but I have to make sure I monitor the things that I do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if there's anything I wish I could do, I wish I could just be me, a little bit more myself. You know what I'm saying?
Like have fun with people.
Yeah, I can have a little bit more fun. You know what I'm saying? Not be as professional.
Yeah. Like calm and relax.
Yeah, I can relax a little bit.
Gotcha.
But that's probably one thing. I can't really think of anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, did I cut you off?
Nah, and it's as an entrepreneur, it's like I can still do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like if I could wish anything, I couldn't really think of anything, but just probably be a little bit more relaxed.
Gotcha. So when it comes to I completely lost my question. So just to move on, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned networking before in a lot of podcasts. Well, before that, I know I'm stumbling over my own shit, but listen, you mentioned building your own empire, right? I actually said that in a podcast, probably, I want to say one of my earlier podcasts. Why help build somebody else's empire when I could be building my own? Because you having your empire and having something that belongs to you and something that you could be like, okay, I think my biggest thing is, and let me know if you agree and your opinion on it, is the fact that I want to be able, God forbid something happens in my family. I don't want to be getting approved to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like I should, if something's going on in my family, if if there's a wedding or something tragic has happened in my family, God forbid anything happens, but at the end of the day, I want to be able to be like, I gotta go, and not be like, hey, can I go?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Well, what is your opinion on that? Being able to have that freedom to be able to be like, I have something that I need to take care of. I want to do that.
That's what I work for. That's like my main. That's my motto. I want to be my own boss. No matter what, you can't employ me. You can't tell me what to do. I'm doing what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you're gonna have to work a lot to get to the point where you could do what you want to do. But once you get there, you're gonna be so thankful. You know what I'm saying? So that's like I said, that's what I work for, 100%.
Got you. So we are getting close to the end. I'm going to be asking you the same questions I ask all my guests.
Do you think?
But I need to ask, right, what is it that inspires you?
It's like what inspires me, it's like the big question mark of what I could really get done. Like, there's just so much I can do. You know, like when I'm on social media, I follow like pages that inspire me, bro. And like I'll follow pages of like these crazy hotels in Dubai, or I'll see people doing these amazing activities. Like it's like you need so much money for, and it's like seeing things like that inspires me. It's like a question mark on how much I could do, cause like I didn't think I could get this far. Like I knew I could get this far, but starting off, you don't really see it yourself blowing up like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So just like that big question mark of what I could do really inspires me. Like I got this far now. How much farther can I go? Like that's crazy. I got this far. Like I want to see what else I could do. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I just don't want to stop. It's like a itch that you get. You know, where it's like you just want to keep going. Like I bet I did this. I got this done. People said I couldn't do this. Like let me see what else I could do.
Exactly.
Like I don't know if I could do this. Let me see if I could work for it. And it's like when you get it done, it's just like the best feeling in the world. Like I wish everybody could feel that feeling. Like there's people in this world that will never feel that feeling. You know, and I wish they could. Like just achieving something that you said you could do that other people just didn't believe in. And when you get it done, you feel like you're on top of the world. You know?
Okay. And I don't want to ask the future message part yet. But I gotta ask it.
Oh man.
I think that I really want to ask. What is something in this world that you would change to improve it?
The negativity, bro, the violence, the hate. Hate is a big thing, man. That goes on. I see it all the time. I'll be around certain individuals, and these are people I don't like to surround myself with, but they'll say negative things about someone that's working towards something. And like I said, those are things that'll uninspire someone, unmotivate someone from wanting to do what they want to do. Like if you're around 6 friends, bro, and they tell you, bro, stop that podcast, bro. It's not going nowhere. It's not gonna do what you think it's gonna do, bro. Let's just go back to doing what we were doing. You know, like just being around that. Like if you hear enough people say it, it's gonna get to you, bro. And like I've seen a lot of people stop what they were doing because of the things that they've heard around them. So it's like I want everybody to like to chase your dreams. Like I wouldn't say everybody can do everything that they want to do, but everybody should have the ability to want to try.
Exactly.
You know, everybody should want to be able to at least think they can do whatever they want to do. You know, so hate is a big thing that stops a lot of great things from happening. There's people that are killed over hate. It's like a mental prison for a lot of people. So that's one thing I wish I could change.
Okay. What does your dream look like?
My dream look like? Honestly, bro, I see myself like in another country, big mansion or a penthouse, big family, bro. I want my family to be blessed. They're retired. Everybody's living like I want to make sure that everybody can live their dream life through me. Like everyone in my family's living that life that they picture. Like everybody has a dream. That dream, like to a T that you picture. When you want that house, you want that car, you want this, you want that. I want everybody in my family to live that dream life through me. That's my dream.
Okay. Now the question that you
man.
didn't want, what is a message what message would you give to your future self?
So like me in the future, looking at myself right now.
Yes, like you're sitting down, you're looking at him, and he's watching this video, and you're like, and he's going back in time to go see this.
Damn, that's a good one, bro. I always heard the other one. What was the other one?
What message would you give to your younger self?
My younger self. Damn, the future me. I would say, like I said earlier, thank you for working hard. I feel like I'm gonna look at myself in the future. Well, if I were to look back at this podcast like in 10 years, I'm gonna thank myself for working hard because, like I said, I'm not gonna stop until I get all those things for my family. Like I said, my goal is to make sure that my family lives through me. You know, so when I look back at this podcast in 5 years or 10 years, I want to make sure that I achieved that goal. My family's now looking through me.
Yeah.
So me thanking myself is like the perfect message because, like I said, I'm the type of person that I never take my foot off the gas. I'm gonna find a way. Sometimes I'll make bad investments, but it's like regardless, I'm still trying to do something. It's better than just sitting still. So like I just can't sit still, bro.
Gotcha.
So I know like in 5-10 years, I'm gonna look back at myself and I'm gonna be thankful that I worked hard. You know?
Gotcha. Last but not least, what do you want the world to know about Ru?
I'm here to help everyone, man. There's people out there that they'll hide certain information from you. You know what I'm saying? They think that it's not enough out there for everyone to eat. You know, and I'm never gonna hold information. Like, I'm gonna give you all I have. You know, like when it comes to my clients that I work with, I make sure I give them all I have, because like I want to see everybody get to the top. It looks better on you if people are telling other people like, yo, he got me here, he helped me get here. That's a big testimonial. That'll bring you more clients. That'll bring you that name that you deserve. You know, so like I'm gonna always give it no matter what.
Got you. So now the podcast is all over. Last but not least, the camera is now all yours. If there's anything you got going on, anything that you want to say, any advice you want to give, this is your opportunity.
Absolutely. You can follow me on my socials. All my socials are the same, at GetBusyRu. Doing promos, doing a lot of different deals when it comes to my credit repair business. If you need a credit repair, you can message me, DM me. You can book a call with one of my, with someone on my team. And like I said, I'm here to help. Whatever you guys need help with, whether it's Airbnb, Turo, you guys are looking to start, grow a business. I'm surrounded by so many different people that just know so much. I'll point you in the right direction no matter what, So reach out to me on socials. Appreciate you for having me, bro.
Of course.
It means a lot.
Nah, thank you again. Thank you, Ru, for being here. I'm going to go ahead and do my outro. I just want to say thank you for anybody that's watching. Thank you to the community, to being on the community pod. Thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, click that like button, put on the post notification, leave a comment, let me know your favorite part. If you're watching on any audio platforms, please leave a review. It allows other people to find my platform. Last but not least, for anybody that's new here, welcome to the community pod. And anybody that's been able to watch all my episodes, or even just a few, thank you for being here. I couldn't do what I'm doing, and it wouldn't be called the community pod without people like yourselves and the guests that I have, which are amazing. Thank you again. We are out. Peace.
Boom. Slit.